tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, I have a letter dated, actually, do I read one for all three, Denise? So,
They all say the same thing?
yes, hold on, I'll tell you in a second. 7, yes. Look
The only thing that's
directly
different
along.
is the footage from Main Street.
Okay. All right, I mean, I don't care, I can read them all, doesn't matter to me. Okay, so I'm looking at which one I'm doing first here.
We're doing 43,
640.
653 or?
49.4, I'm looking at this.
All right,
49.4, okay. All right, letter from the Rockland County Department of Planning dated September 4th, 2025. Item Highland Muse, 653 Main Street, GML 25-0455. Use variance to convert first-story commercial office space into a one-bedroom dwelling in an existing semi-attached mixed-use building on .078 acres in the CS zoning district and Spark Hill Hamlet Center Overlay District. There is an existing apartment dwelling on the second floor. The use variance is requested for a non-conforming residential use. Southeast side of Main Street, approximately 260 feet northeast of Union Street. County of Rockland Department of Planning has reviewed the above item, acting under the terms of the above GML powers and those vested by the County of Rockland Charter. I, the Commissioner of Planning, hereby recommend the following modifications. 1, the rear parking area is shared between lots 77.08-5-49.1 through 49.4 via an easement. This department received GML Section 239 referrals for Lot 49.2 and 49.3 concurrently with the submission. The project scope for these two other referrals is identical to the subject proposal, thus resulting in a total of 3 new dwelling units. Parking calculations must be provided to ensure that enough off-street parking spaces can be provided within the shared parking area for this proposal, along with the existing and proposed uses on other parcels. 2, no parking spaces are illustrated on the site plan drawing. The aerial imagery made available through the Rockland County GIS Division indicates that the rear parking area previously included striping between the parking spaces. The parking lot striping was removed between 2016 and 2021. The parking spaces must be delineated on the site plan to ensure that there is sufficient space available for the required number of parking spaces. Parking spaces should be striped and comply with the requirements of Chapter 43, Article 6, Section 6.3 of the Orangetown Code. 3, the Village of Piermont is one of the reasons this proposal was referred to this department for review. The municipal boundary is approximately 180 feet east of the site as required under Section 239NN of the State General Municipal Law. The Village of Piermont must be given the opportunity to review the proposed variance and provide any concerns related to the project to the town of Orangetown. The site is located directly along a state highway. A review must be completed by the New York State Department of Transportation or any comments or concerns addressed. 5, a review must be completed by Rockland County Department of Health, any comments or concerns addressed, and any required permits obtained. 6, pursuant to New York State General Municipal Law, Sections 239M and 239N, if any of the conditions of this GML review are overridden by the board, then the local land use board must file a report with the county's Commissioner of Planning of the final action taken. If the final action is contrary to the recommendation of the Commissioner, the local land use board must state the reason for such action. 7, in addition, pursuant to Executive Order 01-2017, signed by County Executive Day on May 22nd, 2017, county agencies are prohibited from issuing a county permit, license, or approval until a report is filed with the county's Commissioner of Planning. The applicant must provide to any county agency which has jurisdiction of the project, 1, a copy of the Commissioner's report approving the proposed action, or 2, a copy of the Commissioner of Planning recommendations to modify or disapprove the proposed action, and a certified copy of the Land Use Board statement overriding the recommendations to modify or disapprove and the stated reasons for the Land Use Board's override. And this is signed Douglas J. Schutz, Acting Commissioner of Planning. Then a sign-off by the Rockland County Planning Department dated September 3rd, 2025, signed by Jake Pallant, and a sign-off also by the Fire Prevention Majewski, signed by Majewski, dated August 19th, 2025. And I think that's it for that one, yes? Okay. And the second one is regarding, I'm sorry, it's the same, except that it's southeast side of Main Street, approximately 220 feet northeast of Union Street. This is from the Rockland County Department of Planning, dated September 4th, but it's the same letter. Do I need to read it again, Denise? Same letter? But the only difference is the distance from Union Street, which I said. Okay, and then the third, I'm sorry?
Yeah, the mixed-use
Oh,
building.
yes, I'm sorry, .101 acres in the CS zoning district. And that is the second one, and the third one, always for Highland Muse, 649 Main Street, but now we are, where are we? .105 acres in the CS zone, and it's 160 feet northeast of Union Street. And I think that that's it.
There's nothing from the health department, county? Okay. Okay, good?
Mhm.
All right, Donald?
Okay, just,
What? Oh, I gotta do that. Yeah, okay, hold on. Sorry. Okay, so there's three items, ZBA Town Street. ZBA 25-41, application Highland Muse Realty LLC, owners for variance from zoning code, chapter 43, CS District, column 2, use by right, single-family residence proposed, not listed as use by right, for commercial space to be converted into a single-family residence at an existing mixed-use building. The premises are located at 653 Main Street, Spark Hill, New York, and identified on the Orangetown's tax map as 77.08, Block 5, Lot 49.4 in the CS zoning district. And ZBA number 25-42, application of Highland Muse LLC, owners for variance of zoning code, chapter 43, column 2, use by right, single-family residence proposed, not listed as a use by right, for commercial space to be converted into a single-family residence at an existing mixed-use building. The premises are located at 651 Main Street, Spark Hill, New York, and identified on the Orangetown tax map as 77.08, Block 5, Lot 49.3 in the CS zoning district. And ZBA 25-43, application of Highland Muse Realty LLC, owners for variance from zoning code, chapter 43, CS District, column 2, use by right, single-family residence proposed, not listed as use by right, for a commercial space to be converted into a single-family residence and an existing mixed-use building. The premises are located at 649 Main Street, Spark Hill, New York, and identified on the Orangetown tax map as 77.08, Block 5, Lot 49.2 in the CS zoning district.
thank you.
Please.
Okay, if you look. Pardon me?
Your microphone.
Okay, good. All right. If you look closely, or you visited the place, there were actually 4 units were built, and they started in 2012 and completed in 2013. 647 is not owned by my client, it's owned by somebody else. 647 actually got permission to install a shower and a kitchen downstairs by Orangetown. I'm just throwing a little gray water, I'm not saying it's legal or not, but they were given a permit to use that as an apartment, and it is an apartment.
Well, no, they were given permission to have a bathroom and a shower, doesn't mean they were granted permission to be an apartment.
I'm ju-
That's
I'm-
still to be determined.
I'm putting this as secondary thoughts. We
Well-
have something which I'm not representing, but I just want to understand that the town
Well,
did
you know that
permit
we
it.
take every application on its own merit, right?
That's okay.
So,
I-
and no precedence is set
Okay,
until
so-
we do so in the new meeting, so let's go
Okay.
ahead.
So my client, the owner of the realty, has been managing and operating these 3 units since 2020. In accordance with the Sparkle Olay zone, the owner-developer has a right to construct mixed-use complex community on the commercial unit on the first floor and housing units on the second floor. The building was developed to provide parking spaces for the residential tenants and the off-street parking for the first floor commercial tenant. Due to the physical location of the building and the fact there is no demand for commercial space, he has been forced to subsidize the complex. realtors, in there, if you look at the appendix, I've given you realtors from Bergen County, I've given realtors from New York, have statements that indicate that they cannot rent the things for commercial use, and there is a demand for residential. And I did note that an installation of a kitchen, a closet, and a shower facility will easily convert the commercial space into a controlled single-family residential unit. In order to qualify the use variance, necessary for the applicant to present zoning board certain specific data which reveals the existing regulation or restrictions have caused an unnecessary hardship. Okay. The Sparkle Overlay Zone was created in 2008, and I gave you pages of what it was used for. I gave you, this comes from the statute, the parking, the minimum off-street parking, things of that sort. As related to the parking limitations, the parking conditions when this development was constructed have met the requirements of the statute. If the board granted the use variance, the residential parking requirements is less than the commercial one. Therefore, there would be additional parking for the residential units. It is noted that the units are existing on County Highway 8, Washington Street, which provides limited parking for commercial traffic. I mentioned last real estate brokers. In this time period, they have paid realty tax and expenses in a sum of $237,626. As secondary data, they have sewer service, they have Orange and Rockland, they have water, they have police protection, they have fire protection, they have ambulance. Drainage is not an issue because the areas that were paved are paved, and it's been that way since 2013 in accordance with the code. The surrounding areas, again, if you look on the west side, which is residential 19, it is a residential building, and then one next to it is a residential building. I showed you pictures in this thing of these residential houses. Okay? The applicant has met all of the conditions for the use variance. Now, I also want to show you, which I think is important, I gave, as part of it, the exact applications, what we've done, but what I want to show you is the monetary situation. And the monetary situation is located in what I call Appendix C. We have the letter from the Accounting Solutions LLC, and if you take a look at the table, which is on the next page, you will see that the applicant has been losing consistently money to pay for taxes and things of this sort to cover the expenses. As it stands right now, by the way, the applicant is located by my client and his wife. They have put close to $73,000 each to cover taxes for the payment and the operation of the building. I've listed all the items that were required, and the problem involved is based on the fact that they can't rent it, and we look very carefully at the thing. They're having problems. Every year they have to supplement money to operate the place. It was interesting that when COVID hit, rents really dropped. The 2005 rent, which is shown on your chart, there's still 3 more months coming to that situation, but I gave it as it stands today.
Can you give me an idea? It's Appendix C, you said. I think I finally found it.
Oh.
It's
I
like-
should have,
They're not numbered, the pages.
yeah, I should have.
Keep going back, it's way back.
So, in essence, if we look at the criteria, they cannot get a reasonable return on the investment. In fact, it's losing money year after year. Hardship is unique, but a substantial portion of the district, a substantial portion of the district in this area is residential housing. It will not alter in any way the essential character of the neighborhood, because the character of the neighborhood is exactly as it is. The downtown area of Sparkhill needs residential housing so that commercial things that are there will stay. And primarily, the hardship has not been self-created. Well, that's not really true, because they built it under this code, and they're asking to deviate from the code. So that's why we're here for the use variance, where we say they've owned it for all these years, and it cannot produce a profit. It cannot produce a profit under this situation. I kind of rushed it, but I can give you the documentation to everything that I support and what I said.
So how many of these units were rented in 2020, 21, 2022? How many of the spaces?
The upstairs units are fully rented.
And
The
how about
upstairs
downstairs?
The downstairs, they were not. In fact, they had one did rent to somebody who was gonna do chiropractic work, and it turned out to be a brothel, and it was maybe thrown out.
Oh, I bet
So
you that
that-
was making
so-
money.
So I'd like this, so where's the rental income for the apartments versus the commercial? It's all the same, right? So I'd like to see the breakout of that.
There was no commercial rent, they didn't,
At any of this time?
no.
Versus 2020?
Outside of that one thing that they had to throw out.
Was there not a preschool there or something at the
No,
time?
there was a.
It's next
Chi-
door.
Yeah, it was Chinese, acupuncture or something.
Oh,
that,
acupuncture?
Yeah,
Yeah.
massage or something, that they turn into
And then in the window, it
illegal.
looked like a photographer of some
Yeah,
sort?
one photographer is there, yeah, one photographer.
And they're there now?
Yeah, this there, she was renting the whole thing, but she ran into a financial problems. Now she renting just partial of it. And then she's always 4, 5 months behind rent, and then it doesn't make sense, removing her, because it's gonna be vacant anyway, so she's, just trying to.
Okay, so it was rented to somebody?
Yes, it was rented, yeah.
My
Yeah,
client's
but-
here, he
but-
can say
yeah.
what it is. The one you were talking about was next door where the restaurant is.
Okay, that's
That
where the
was a
school was.
Yes,
Okay.
that was.
And also, go ahead.
No, that's all right.
So, I understand that, or how long have you owned the property?
I built it back in 2013.
You built in
Yeah, I built it,
2013.
yeah. Yes,
But
with a partner.
well, you had a partner though.
Yeah, but then
Okay,
he-
but my point is that's after the overlay was created. The other houses that are in the area were predate the 2008 code. The houses that are in the area. You mentioned houses that are in the same area.
Yes, they are.
They predated that.
Yes, they do.
So you built that space and it's in the CS zone, understanding what you're talking about. I don't know how I'm gonna circumvent the town code in that aspect, in one member's opinion.
What efforts were made to rent out the commercial space? I see that you have letters from realtors, but what exactly have you done to try to rent it?
Yeah, we just put back on the market, and then was a few people who want like a bigger windows to be like a storefront kind of thing, but then, we have to demolish the whole front of the building to looks like some kind of storefront or something,
Mhm.
So it was just, and some places was like, some papers said it's not enough parking for commercial.
Right.
It's like if my client comes here, they have to park across the street. They have to kind of on the commuter parking area, and so a lot of people, they didn't like that, because if you can't have multiple people parking there, in and out.
How many parking spaces are in the back there?
Top of my head, I don't remember. I think it's something. I don't remember the exactly numbers.
I know it did meet the code requirements.
Yeah.
Initially, it didn't.
Yes. Well, it met the code requirements, but somewhere along the parking painting did away, and they didn't redo it.
I find, that, in that area, obviously, in Spark Hill, we've done a lot of things with parking because we know that that's how the area is, right? I'd be more inclined to look at something like that than I would be to make a judgment on changing the code.
Well, I'm not asking to change it.
Well, I would personally, I would rather you go back and ask them to change the code then, because
Well, they're not gonna do that.
exactly,
The town board is not gonna do that.
exactly. It was created for a reason.
Well, it created a nice restaurant next door. Outside of that, I don't know of anybody else that's really accepted it or done with it. We've got 2 or 3 restaurants right now that are closing. It's very difficult to,
In the overlay,
in the overlay district, yeah.
they're closing?
Yeah.
There's not that many properties in the overlay.
Well, the one where Roos used to be, that closed again. There was a French restaurant there.
In the overlay.
Yes, it is. It is in the overlay. Everything in Main Street from the old railroad tracks towards, is in the overlay zone. So you got 2 restaurants now that are closed. You have another one that's, Ruth's moved. Ruth's was originally one place, another restaurant.
Used to be on Washington.
Yeah, Ruth's. Yeah, and another restaurant went in there and they just closed up. That's empty right now. You got another one that's, had food near the wine place, that closed up. Sparkle's a tough time.
Wait, that one closed? No, near the wine
Near the
place?
there's a restaurant near the wine place that closed
But
down. Closed. The wine place is still open.
It closed, really? Recently? I think that's still there. What's the name of that one?
And I'm
Cantina?
trying to get the
Cantina.
old Ruth's place rented, but so far, we've had 2 people there and they both couldn't make it.
I mean, it's a very small area, I get it.
They need people, and that's one of the
I
problems.
think that's the situation in a lot of places, right,
Yeah,
right
they
now,
need-
right? So
they need-
I don't wanna make, again,
No, they're still
I
there.
mean,
my thought
this-
process is long-term, not short-term.
Well, man,
I understand, the situation, but in my opinion, again, I have a hard time with that.
well, I tried to meet every one of the elements. I kind of thought we did meet all of the elements, and I think he's really getting hurt. He's just keep the building going. He's just got to keep throwing money in. It does not carry itself in any way.
I don't know what, I'm not saying that isn't the case, but I don't know how much has been done to try and rent it other than different uses, different things. You talk about changing storefronts, those are ways they move. I don't know if that's even, looking at the zoning itself, available to do. I don't know. I don't have that, I don't have an answer to that. Anyone else, you guys have any thoughts?
I'm just looking at the criteria here. Applicant cannot realize a reasonable return, provided that lack of return is substantial, as demonstrated by competent financial evidence. Okay, you have realtors, you testified that you're having a hard time renting it. How long has it been on the market for commercial?
At one point, it was for over a year, and then with the apartments upstairs was rented within a month, it was quick. And then downstairs was just sitting for over a year, trying to rent it. And then some people, they wanted to rent as a commercial, but then, can I sleep there? But then I told them, no, it's commercial, it's commercial. And so eventually my broker, she said, Mike, it's better off just trying to get this converted, because we've been getting a lot of calls for residents, and the point of not having enough parking for customers. If 2 or 3 customer comes, there's not enough parking for that many people at a time, the many units. Then having people park over like commuter parking going, then people just thought was not good place for a commercial.
What do you guys say about the second prong here? The alleged hardship relating to the property in question is unique and does not apply to a substantial portion of the district or neighborhood. Sounds like what you're testifying is that it would apply to that whole district, because
No, each one's standing on its own. We're asking for 3 apartments in an area that can use apartments. And that's, I think it does meet that element with no problem. I think the critical thing right now is the hardship. I think we've established the hardship, and I think that's, if I had an area variance, I think you'd give it to me. I mean, the use variance requires, we have to show the hardship. And this man has a hardship. Right now, he's in the red of close to $150,000 from the times he's took over this thing from 2020 to now.
Especially tax season, it's like almost $30-some thousand we have to put in to pay taxes, because we don't have enough income sitting in the account to pay the mortgage, pay alarm bills, and all those expenses. And then we always have to take money out of personal account and put in the account in order to cover those costs. And then just keeps accumulating. Every year accumulates, and then we just hope, it works out, one day.
647, I know you testified that has a shower and stuff in there. What is that being occupied now, the first floor?
That unit was sold for a lady while me and my partner was alive anyway. And then she converted it downstairs into residential. I'm not sure
Okay.
what she does over there, but it's not commercial at all. She's using as a residential.
It does have a sign that says home sweet home. I saw that.
Yeah. Yeah, because at one point, her daughter was living with her, then was, I'm not sure exactly who was living there anyway.
That's codes are not approved.
I thought that was rude.
Yeah.
Right, we don't know.
Look at it, yeah.
No, I didn't say there was an approval. I said they had a permit to put in a shower and a bathroom. That they did. And that's one of the elements that lets a person live there.
Because at one point,
So his buildings are one,
Yeah,
two, three, he does another one.
No, it's restricted. You cannot. You read the code.
Now they got it.
The code,
That's not before us, so.
code specifically says you cannot do that.
So, I have a question. So you have two letters from Realtors, they're both from this year. Do you have any evidence that you tried to rent them in the prior years?
yes, from one of those tenants, because I just reached out to her, to my broker, who rented those 3 apartments pretty fairly quick. And
Right.
she had the listing for over a year.
For
For
downstairs?
downstairs, yeah, and she could not get it rented.
Right.
And then I reached out to her to get the letter, so she just recently gave me the letter.
No, I realize that, but that was just now. So
Yeah,
what
just
about
now,
in
yeah.
2021 or 2022?
Yeah, those I don't have the letters. I don't have the letters for.
But there was an attempt
Because,
made to rent them
it
out.
was an attempt, because my partner who passed away, he's the one who's trying to,
Rent them?
rent them, and then when he passed away, and then I started getting more involved.
Reasonable market rate, if it's gonna be super high rent,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna rent.
Yeah, it's, yeah,
It's average market rent.
yeah, and we try, yeah.
We have no problems
Yeah.
giving you the rent. They are reasonable. No way you're
Just saying,
overcharging.
that's kind of general.
Yeah.
Very general, not very specific. If they showed it ever, there was complaints about with the rent, or it's not suited for us, Realtor Young, Francis.
Do we know what the asking rent was?
The asking rent, I would think, was about $1,600 or something, was not a very expensive rent,
They're not very big apartments.
Yeah, it's.
They're not apartments,
It's a-
they're not big
it's basically
spaces.
2
No,
rooms.
downstairs.
Even upstairs, they're not.
Yeah.
No, but what was he asking rent for commercial?
Commercial was, I think was $1,600 to $1,800, was something along those lines.
Have any of these units never been occupied?
It was occupied a long time ago for lawyer's office. And then one of the units, they rented upstairs, and then they didn't want to have any commercial downstairs, so decided to rent downstairs too,
But it was
So-
unoccupied?
Yeah, it was unoccupied, so just used as a storage.
So when was the last time you had a tenant in 49.4?
49.4.
Yeah, that would be 653. When was the last time you had a
653.
tenant in 653?
653 was, or probably during COVID, exactly date, I don't remember. Because this is the unit that they rented upstairs, but it was uncomfortable having commercial downstairs, so they rented downstairs too for the whole year. So basically downstairs, you just left it vacant.
Okay. So has there been a tenant there since?
No, I mean, upstairs was.
No, I'm only talking
No,
about downstairs.
No, it
What
was not-
about
It was not, has been, all the commercial has been vacant for over 3 years.
all
so,
3 units?
Yeah, downstairs, the commercials. Has been vacant for a long time.
You've had a listing agent?
Yes, I had the listing agent, and then she came to a point where she just says, she was just wasting her time, because every time she brings someone over, and then it's a matter of, it's not like a really good place for.
So why not lower the rent?
Well, we could lower the rent.
Yeah, you could.
But the thing is, lowering the rent, we still have
But
the
to cover your
problem.
bills, you can easily lower the rent. You cut
Yeah.
that rent in half, and you'd at least be making money and
Yeah.
do a short-term lease.
Yeah, but we still gotta find a way to pay for snow removal, for parking,
No, but if
for-
you had, even if you, I mean, even with the financials that I'm reading, right? So I read the financials a lot too, right?
Yeah.
That's what I do, some of what I
They-
do.
There were, if you look in the thing, there were statements from the existing tenants that are there right now stating that commercial caused problems in terms of noise and in terms of going
That's
the
the area,
hours.
that's the area you chose to.
I know, but I'm just trying to tell you what.
I'm just telling you too, that's not something that's gonna be us taking into consideration.
they all say that there's some sort of illegal operation underneath them.
Well, that
Now
was,
all three could add some massage parlor underneath them all.
No, it was just was one of them, had a massage parlor which turned into illegal. Because all of them was kind of putting me against the wall, like, how can you allow something like this to goes on? And then after we had the police involved, and it was, and then finally was able to get them evicted. And,
Again, I'll say, if you were making, so what's the rental income on the apartments?
the apartments upstairs I rent for, some is $2,800, another one is $3,000, another one is $2,600. Just families with kids, and, one apartment has a baby, and the other one has a young girl that lives in.
So as of right now, so currently, last year you lost $21,000.
Yes. Because they're just trying to make the numbers work, to cover the taxes, snow removal, and alarm, because all of them has monitored alarm system, you know.
Even if you rented them for $1,000 a month, you're in the black. So I just find it not easy to say, you know how hard it is for a use permit.
I know,
let's be
that,
honest.
I know
Right,
it's
so
hard, but these,
you have not exhausted every aspect, because you can lower the rent and pay your bills. That's not in here, but you can. You can.
what was worrisome, if he lowered the rent and paid the bills, then the other people might leave upstairs. The upstairs people, because the hours in a commercial are very different from,
Yeah, they're during the day.
well, not necessarily, there's no restriction on the hours
Okay.
in that area. There's no restriction at all. So, they could keep it open all night, they could keep it open to 12 at night, and that would not be,
Let's,
that would not be, what?
we know that.
Can't
You
do that
stop.
all night.
You can't do that.
I said to 12 o'clock, I didn't say all night.
So my opinion is, you've not exhausted every aspect. There's no way. You can lower your rent, you can cover your bills until things get better, you can do short-term leases, whatever. I don't know the answer to that piece, but I do know that that can be done.
My opinion is, lowering the rent, it does not fix the problem of what a lot of people who wanted to go there and rent as a commercial. The situation, the problem is not the rent being expensive. The problem is, it's like, if I have
How do
two or
you
three
know?
customers that comes,
How
where are
do
they
you
gonna
know?
park?
How do you know?
Because
Well, I said again, I
where are
think
we
I
gonna
have-
park? Like they gotta park.
I have an easier
you know.
time helping with the parking than I do giving you a use permit.
You know,
We've done it down there, we've done it down there.
yeah, so.
Well, there's 16
16
spots,
spots.
and there's 2 units per building.
One's for the residential, isn't it?
Yeah, one and Lloyd,
Yeah,
there's
is it-
16 divided by 4 buildings, that's 4 buildings, 4 spots per building. That's 2 for the residents, 2 for the commercial, so there's at least 2. And then there's a municipal lot across the street, right, or down the street?
The what?
So, again,
Isn't there a municipal lot?
the people that
Yes,
rent there
to
can
the
park in
left.
municipal lots, and the people that come here to work, they have spots to park. I just, as one member of the board, that's my view.
It comes out to the financial hardship and not being able to rent this and cost, you know. It's just been too
I
many years with,
understand. I understand, but
with the hardship.
if you had done this, and there's tough times now too, right? You can think about, in short term or whatever be the case. But my opinion, when you start looking at your financials, if you'd done that 2 years ago, you wouldn't be in the situation you are right now. And it's because you didn't want to drop the rent.
There was 2 years ago, there was nobody looking. Nobody
How
looking.
do you know at the rate? How do you know if it wasn't tried at a certain rate? Certain monthly rate? You don't know that. I'm just saying, listen, I'm one member. There could be other people. You want to pull the board, it's up to you.
I just think we're talking about
use
we're talking
permit.
about 3 apartments. We're talking about a need. Sparkville needs residents there to function, and I think it is unique. It's not gonna pop up again. It's just one shot, and this is it. Nobody else is gonna have this
Only area
situation.
that's like that. Right, so we're gonna circumvent that right now.
No, we have mixed use in Pearl River, we have.
I'm saying in Spark Hill itself. There's only like, what, 10 places in general in that zone?
Yeah, but you have commercial,
but-
you have commercial available, it's
I'm just
empty.
saying, there's only, I can count, right? There's only this amount of properties, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And you wanna take 3 of them and change and want me to give you us to give you a use permit to change, to circumvent that.
It's not working.
Well, then, again, go to the town board and ask them to change it. That's just my opinion. I'm not, again, I think that you can lower the rent and still be whole for a period of time until things get better, or not. Or you can be fine. That's just my opinion. You guys can decide, if you wanna ask.
Can you try to lower the rent for,
Yeah,
make an attempt and see what happens, and then perhaps come
We tried
back?
lowering the rent. We tried lowering the rent, and we could not make it work. We could not find anybody who,
But you
Well,
said
that's
you,
not in here.
Proof has to be submitted.
you didn't
That's
show.
not in here. That's why I'm saying
Well-
it's not in here.
If you want supplementary information, I'll try to get you supplementary
In the
information.
meantime, we also have to do, we didn't publish it, or send around our notice of intent to declare lead agency to any. Yes, we don't wanna be, find ZBA, the lead agency. So you'll have time to
I'll-
prepare whatever
All right,
additional
I'll be
information.
glad to ask for a continuation and
We
try
also
to give
have
you
our
what you're
town
looking
secret
for.
also. We can do secret, we have your EAF, we'll get the additional information, we'll get notices. Everybody's saying they don't wanna be involved in our process here. And then you can get your, you can provide anything. Mortgage, what are the taxes on the property? How long did you try to rent it for?
What were the rates you tried to run it for? What were the differences that are different from now till when? I
When
mean,
was the last tenants in there? Sure there was one other than the massage bar. There had to be somebody else in there.
There was a lawyer in the beginning who left, and I don't know of anybody else.
there was a lawyer, basically just a lawyer. The lawyer, and then we massage parlor who we had the legal problem.
There was some kind of well driller in there.
It was a well driller, but then.
So can we make a
but-
list?
But then he started living there.
Make a list
And
of
then
all of them.
the guy, the well driller, one of the guy was basically living there, and then eventually I was able to remove him.
Advising on what the board's requesting.
Okay, I have you want time to do seeker? You want to find out about the,
no, hold on.
Oh.
We want the relevant information to show you, to give us more, for you to give us more proof, to prove that we will grant you a use variance. Seeker is just a piece of it. It's not about.
no, I
giving
understand,
time.
I'm
I'm still, unless you can come back and show me that you were looking to rent a place for $1,000 a month for the last 3 years, you're gonna be hard placed, in my opinion, still. But you guys gotta come back and with that information, and you'll have the time to do it. That's just one member of the board, as I've said before. Okay?
I
You wanna ask for the continuance?
yes. I am asking for it, yes,
He's asking for,
Continue.
continuance,
all right, thank you very much.
For all 3 properties?
yes.
Ooh, good one, good catch. Look at you. All right. All right, so we're gonna be,
Did you have to
when,
hear from
you're
the
gonna
public?
have a time frame?
What did you have to hear? There's somebody from the public here.
Not if it's continuous, do we?
Okay.
Are we gonna wait till he's submits, or are we just gonna continue him to another meeting?
Well, we definitely,
We have to do at least 30
We have
days.
to sell it to the 30-day thing, so we're gonna have to wait.
Do we focus on this, or do we wait for the, after to continue?
somebody's here about it, let's see what they
All
have
right,
to say.
so we're holding off on, he's gonna ask for continuance, but we're gonna ask the public if anyone wants to be heard on this. So does anyone from the public wanna be heard on this?
Tonight, you mean, or is that?
Tonight.
No, I'll hold. Because
You
there'll
sure?
be more meetings, right? No decisions being made
Yes,
tonight.
absolutely, but if you wanna be a record, it's up to you, or you wanna wait?
No, I'll wait.
Okay, thank you. All right,
Okay, good.
Thank you.
you're gonna find out when the next available for them after the 30 days?
Yeah, we have to do the 30 days before, and they have to make a submission.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we'll discuss that.
Some of you.
Some.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to open ZBA 25 application North Middletown Road. All in favor?
Aye.
I have a notarized affidavit of posting and a disclosure certificate, letters of correspondence, and an disclosure statement for this project. John,
Okay.
do you have the?
Yes, I'll give it to you. I will give it to you. Oh, wait, I'm gonna become a
Do we have
weightlifter.
to swear him in again? Someone wants to?
You-
Yeah?
I always tell the truth.
I know. All right.
Just me. Aren't I lucky? What?
Oh, yeah. Just to get people to get gas in there. You where those trees go? Whole
Yes.
trees, the whole trees got to go? All right.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna read this, we have one letter, from the town of Clarkstown, Department of Planning. September 25th, 2025, 550 North Middletown Road LLC, 552 North Middletown Road, Pearl, New York, 64.17-1-76 canopy over existing fuel pumps. Excuse me. The board members of the town of Clarkstown Planning Board reviewed the above referral at the regular meeting on September 4th, 2025. After a brief discussion and a motion of Katz, second by Barone, and carried 4-0 with ayes of Metcalf and Bertolini, planning board down to deem the matter for local determination. Sincerely, Brian Metcalf, chairman. Excuse me. I don't know.
Want a cup of water?
I'm good.
You want a name? You want a name?
ZBA 25-44, application of 552 North Middletown Road LLC, owners of variances from zoning code chapter 43, CO District Group NN, section 3.12, column 8, front yard 30 feet required, 27.3 feet proposed. Column 12, height 13 feet 8 inches permitted, 17 feet 4 inches proposed for a canopy over existing fuel pumps, which were previously approved under PB 21-03 and ACABOR 21-31. No signage approved. The premises are located at 552 North Middletown Road, Fall River, New York, and identified on the Orangetown tax map as section 64.17, block 1, lot 76, in the CO zoning district. Could you tell us?
As you said at one time, these canopies were approved. I think he's coming back with the same canopies pretty much. I think the problem involved here is that some of the survey has to be corrected in terms of the distance between the street and where the canopy is. And we'll be glad to do that. We don't have a problem with that.
Why wasn't it, was that with the state? I didn't see that, though.
I thought it was the letter that came from Clarkstown? Not Clarkstown, I thought there was a letter from our people. Hold on.
I think it's just, I thought it was just a height. Oh, front yard,
Yeah, it was a front yard distance.
okay. It was 30 feet and 27.2?
Right.
Okay, I got you. So that has to be, I didn't see that on our,
It has to be corrected on the drawing.
yeah. But it's also, oh, here it is. Yeah, 13, 27.2. Okay.
What are we talking about?
So there's a front yard requirement, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, and then there's a height requirement. I thought that height requirement was already approved.
At a prior time,
Right, we did that.
yeah.
Okay, so why is
I thought it expired. It was done years ago. It was done for a different it was done from a different company. The station has been sold.
But the new thing, it says here, planning board and have to do it. We didn't approve it.
Rock and Car Care.
Right.
Planning Board. We got a ZBA from 1970, 70-85.
For canopy?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think this ever had a canopy.
All right, okay. So we're doing, so,
Not here.
so both of these are,
Down the street.
both of these are needed now.
I think we have to approve the canopies.
Yep, yep, you're on,
Have the board
it's
do
here.
it. Okay.
It's here, yep. Now, didn't we do signage though here? Didn't we do something else here?
I never got this.
No, I will be coming back. I will be coming back. They want to do some food processing inside the building. That's gonna be a separate application, which will start in the planning board before it gets to you.
Is that the taco place we were talking about with the sign out there?
Yes, that's what I was
They
talking
got a sign, with- they got a taco.
Taco's coming soon, but for like a year now, and I'm like, where's the tacos?
All right.
There is a ZBA prior decision, 21-52, June 23rd, 2021,
For canopies.
Rock and Car Care, canopy height. Yep.
And what was the height on that?
I think we did it before.
Approved with a unanimous override of the sign. Disapproval of primary. Okay, canopy height on this one is 17.5 proposed. Would you like to see the drawing and the decision?
17.5, and this is 17 feet of 4 inches.
So how, is it good, it's good for, for us?
17.5 is 4 years old.
So they expired, this is expired, is ours on? I guess so.
The house is so nice. That's got, the
I don't
red
even
like
remember that.
sandstone.
I did remember it, that's why I thought it was.
This is brand new too. They came before the board.
What's the different height?
1 inch. It doesn't matter, if it wasn't.
Actually, I think you approved of higher, so this is 1 inch lower.
1 inch low.
Yeah, so,
This one here,
yeah.
2 inches.
4, 5, 75.
17.5, that's 6 inches. That's 6 inches. So
Right.
This is 17 feet, 4 inches.
All right, so it's lower, it's lower.
17 feet 5 inches proposed. 17
Okay.
feet 5.
So it's 1 inch.
Whatever. All right, so regardless, we're gonna put, we do have
And the
to.
height's the same.
Yeah, this is, this height, this is 1 inch, height is 1 inch, this, yes.
We have to fix the drawing and show the proper distance on the front yard.
So this, you have to fix the drawing.
Yes, I do.
Who said you had to fix the drawing? Were there letters?
I don't see that either. Where do you-
Well, you know what the problem is? They gave us a survey. They gave us a survey that was done for a bank. And, I guess when they were doing financing. So, and Mr. Salentano is very difficult to get to correct things. I will do my best.
Okay, but both of these variances were already approved.
Prior approved, right?
Prior approved, so it's just reapproving based on
This application.
this application due to the variance.
I will be glad to accept that.
So we look at this independently, and it looks the same, then.
Okay. That's why I thought I was losing my mind, because I didn't read it.
You didn't remember the use variance. I don't know why you didn't remember that.
This, because this gentleman passed away. That was in this bill, that was the owner.
The Exxon, right?
Yeah.
And his wife,
His wife,
His wife and his
his wife.
brother now, or his wife and his brother now. But my son had worked for them years ago in that little convenience store they got going. That's the reason why I knew about. Anyway, I still don't remember anything about youth.
Okay? We're good with, see, anybody in the audience?
You guys anything?
Nope.
No. Tommy, good? Anyone from the audience wish to be heard on this? Okay. Make a motion to close?
Second?
All in favor?
All right, I got the next one.
You do
Jay,
again?
yeah, Jay, come on.
Come on, I thought you were joking.
No, he was serious.
Make a motion to open the application for Eamon Donnelly. All in favor? All right.
Is Mr. Donnelly here? Bring him up.
Donald, do you have that one?
Yes, I do.
I have a notarized affidavit posting, disclosure certificate, letter of correspondence for this project.
Okay, there's one letter here.
Mr. Donnelly, what's your first name?
Amon, E-A-M-O-N.
Great, thank you.
One more,
Maybe you were-
Henry. Well, we're ready to go, right?
You guys good? Everybody signed in, names in, everything?
Yep.
Swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, nothing but God?
I do.
Yep.
You got a letter from the Rock County Department of Planning, October sixth, 2025. Gentlemen's law review, item Donnelly subdivision, 276 Sickle Road. Variance to permit the subdivision of a 2.81 net, 2.847 gross acre parcel in the R40 zoning district into two lots for single-family rental use. Lot 1 will have 52,967 net, 54,900 gross square feet in area, including existing single-family dwelling. And Lot 2 will be a flag lot with 68,904 net with 69,126 gross square feet and be used for construction of a new single-family dwelling. The variance requested for side lot 1 and street frontage 2, east side of Sickletown Road, approximately 325 feet south of Sherwood Lane. Referral, Sickletown Road, County of Rockland Department of Planning has reviewed the above item and acting under the terms of the above GML powers and those vested by the Rockland County Charter. 1, the Commission on Planning hereby recommend the following modification. Lot 2 is a flag lot with 70% less than the minimum street frontage required for a single-family dwelling. Permitting development that does not comply with the applicable bulk standards can set an undesirable land use precedent and result in overutilization of individual sites. Allowing a lot with less than required street frontage will increase the number of access points along the adjoining county highway, creating more unpredictability along the roadway and making it less safe for drivers and pedestrians. This can potentially impact traffic flow if neighboring property owners feel inclined to seek similar relief. The zoning board of appeals must consider the feelings and the impact of approving variances. Number 2, the applicant must comply with the comments made by the Rockland County Department of Highways in their letter dated September 15, 2025. 3, a review must be done in Rockland County Department of Health to ensure compliance with the Rockland County Sanitary Code, mosquito control, number 4, pursuant to New York General Municipal Law, Section 239M, 239N. If any of the conditions of GML review are overridden by the board, then the local land use board must file a report with the county commissioner of planning of the final action taken. If the final action is contrary to the recommendation of the commissioner, the local land use board must state the reason for such action. 5, in addition to pursuant of Executive Order 01-2017, signed by County Executive Day on May 22nd, 2017, county agencies are prohibited from issuing a county permit license or approval until the report is filed with the county commissioner of planning. The applicant must provide to any county agency which has jurisdiction of the project, 1, a copy of commissioner's report approving the proposed action, or 2, copy of the commissioner of planning recommendation to modify or disapprove the proposed action, and a certified copy of the land use board statement overriding the recommendation to modify or disapprove, and state the reasons for the land use board override. Douglas J. Schutz, acting commissioner. We got a letter from Rock County Highway Department, September 15th, 2025. 2-lot subdivision review of residential dwelling Donnelly, 276 Sickletown Road, Orangeburg, New York. Tax lot 64-20-1-9, R40 zoning, dealing with Bettman. The subdivision map prepared by J. Greenwell, TLS LLC, and last revised on July 8, 2025, along with the accompanying documents, was received and reviewed by the Rockland County Highway Department. As part of the GML process, our comments are provided below. 1, The gratuitous land dedication for road widening and drainage improvements, as indicating in site plan, must be prepared and recorded in the Rockland County Clerk Office. 2, the applicant must obtain all necessary work permits from the Rockland County Highway Department before beginning any site construction. We appreciate your opportunity to review the proposed action. Please feel free to contact us.
We have no problem with that, those items.
Thank you, Diamond Resident Engineer 3. And it's just another letter with same thing from that.
I always send that in.
Okay.
And then like 2 days later, they send their comment.
ZBA 2545, application of Eamon Donnelly, owner for variances from zoning code, chapter 43, R40 District Group B, section 3.12, column 9, side yard for lot 1, 30 feet required with 28.2 feet proposed. Column 7, street frontage for lot 2, 100 feet required with 30.9 feet proposed. And for a variance from New York State Law, section 280-A, street frontage for a 2-lot subdivision at a single-family residential lot. Premises are located at 276 Sickletown Road, Orangeburg, New York, and identified on the Orangetown tax map as section 64.20, block 1, lot 9, in the R40 zone district. Guys, tell us about your plan here.
Right, we appeared before the planning board approved the subdivision as laid out. Primarily, my client wishes to build a house in the rear for himself. He originally bought the house during COVID time. He lived in the city and he wanted to come up here during COVID time. This particular house does not meet his needs, and he wants to build a new house in the rear where he will live. And I believe he informed me that his brother will live in the front house.
So it seems the crux of the concerns from the Rockland County Department of Planning are precedent and access points to the street. So can you guys-
That's their standard letter.
Right, but I guess, I mean,
So why can't you increase the street frontage? The road
Can,
frontage?
actually. I was gonna suggest that if it would mitigate the concern, we can flare this out. We can increase it to 60 feet, and that would provide a minimum 100-foot frontage for the front lot, but it would be 60-foot frontage for the back lot.
But
And
they're
in
still gonna
fact,
have 2 access points, so it doesn't.
yes,
matter.
but the county highway department didn't have a problem with that.
Right, they didn't, county said
So-
we're okay.
I do.
Oh.
I think it'd be.
Comments to the planning board?
What's that?
That's why.
They make the same comments to the planning board.
Yeah. Who? The county planning board?
Planning department,
County planning department.
about the flag lot.
Same comment.
Yeah, it is, it's their standard letter. I'm not being cute.
No, but I'm just saying, I looked at it and looking at the code requirements, if we can get at least closer.
We can.
You know what I mean? And I think it matters, a couple of reasons why, but I think it's, you can driveway can be a certain distance, right? I mean,
Yes.
with 30,
The 60 feet brings us more into compliance, and it keeps us in compliance with the front lot. I think the biggest problem that the planning board has, and that the zoning board has usually, is that when you take the flagpole and include that in the lot area, if you don't have the net lot area without the flagpole, that's a problem, because then you're getting, you're taking non-usable area. But I'd like to point out that this blue box, which doesn't count any part of the flagpole, is 56,000 square feet, well over the 40,000 square feet. Okay? So the 28.2, which is the side yard, is only 1.8 feet shy of what we need. And we have the total side yard for lot 1. So it's the 1.8 feet that was the kicker on this thing, that we couldn't get the area to get a 30-foot side yard. So that's really what it is. I mean, it's the frontage and the side yard.
no, I mean, it's a pretty unique lot. I don't think there's gonna be, I don't think by granting this, we're setting a precedent where every neighbor here is gonna be looking for a flag lot. And frankly, they don't have the space for it.
I don't know, I just thought if we could do something with the front, I thought that would be, to me, that was important.
Well, I mean, 60 feet certainly reasonable.
Yeah.
I'd be
We have
agreeable to
lots
that.
like that too, and I do know that the size of the lot, wasn't included in the poll section.
It's almost identical to the lot that's adjacent to it, which is 70 feet, pinches down to 40, and then has the lot behind it.
Correct.
Right.
And the other gentleman, doesn't matter. I think this gentleman came in front of us, not you, the previous owner, when we did the house on Sherwood. That the lot went all the way back because they subdivided the old tennis court lot, remember?
Oh, yes, McLaughlin.
So this gentleman came in front of us talking about, was thoughts about this particular project. I met the guy out there, wasn't you?
No, no.
Anyway, he grabbed me when I was in the backyard looking at the property on the other guy. So, you guys have any?
No.
You guys good? Anyone from the witness, here from the audience? No? No, I'm sorry. We'll get there.
So we'll make a contingent on the 60 feet street frontage? You guys
That's
found
good,
it?
right?
Not a problem.
Everything is good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Make motion to close.
Good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
You done, Donald?
Make a motion to open ZBA 2046. Channel lock.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Did I get it wrong? Tequila.
Billy did.
Oh, wait. I have notarized affidavit. No, no.
8:15 softball game. It's all good. We have 6 guys. Oh, Lauren asked me to play the other day, but
What do you got?
Last week, no, we have softball, we have enough guys.
that's for sure. Last week,
See you again.
We wound up having enough, actually. Kyle and Evan came through.
every
and,
night's
uh,
gonna let me know.
I
But
definitely will.
Kira was just out there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I didn't play the end of the year this year. I went and played a couple of games in this round, but I played the end. You know, that stuff. I'm like, I want to just heal.
Yeah.
I feel great.
Yeah.
I'm not playing that league next year, my dad, man. That's all good.
I did want to play that.
And then,
What, the baseball?
That's a fun league.
not, it's 55 plus. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys ready?
Thank you.
Everything good?
Yeah, my dad plays in the hardball league.
Should those who know?
And,
So we got-
and the softball league.
Thank you very much. Who's up?
You gotta swear folks in.
I did.
Okay.
He just did it.
Go ahead.
ZBA number 25-46, application of Helen Shatiloff for variance from zoning code, chapter 43 of the town of Orangetown, section 3.12, R15 district, loop M, column 9, side yard. 20-foot required, 16.58 proposed. In addition to an existing single-family residence, premises are located at 86 Old Middletown Road, Pearl River, New York, and are identified on the Orangetown tax map as section 69.17, block 5, lot 34, R15 zoning district. If you could just explain what you're doing, the addition to your home, just a quick.
I'd like to put an addition because I need a bathroom on the first floor.
And you're going out less distance as far as a variance than what you currently have, right? Currently you have 14 point,
I believe it's the same.
oh,
Yeah,
Well, it is the same on the house itself, but there's a, is there a fireplace on the one side potentially, or an out, something that goes out on the side?
I think it's a fireplace it looks like.
Yeah, so they
Okay.
count that as the 14.
So the variance you're looking for is less than the variance you currently have, is what I'm saying.
I get very confused with all these terms, less and more. I mean, it's even with the house. I mean,
That's what he's asking, so that distance is the same as this distance to the property line.
Oh, that little thing,
Yeah.
it's
So
going to.
it's not any closer to the property line than the house currently is.
It's actually less, yeah.
What is that?
It's the fireplace,
Right,
there's
right,
a wood
The
stove
only,
in
the
the
only thing I
basement.
see is that in the application, it says that it's a 2-story addition, but this
That was
drawing shows it-
Glenn.
What's that?
Glenn called it a 2-story. I call it a 1-story. Everybody thinks it's a 1-story. But Glenn Meyer calls it a 2-story.
Why does he call
The
it?
building inspector?
Yes, I asked him that, and
Is there a basement?
There's a definition. If there's not, because there's not a ceiling, it's going to be a,
Cathedral?
yeah, it's going to be.
Open ceiling?
So the definition is if there's not a ceiling, then anything about, I can't, it's so convoluted, I can't.
But there's no
say.
second-story living space?
No, there's no second story, no. Everybody thinks it's a one-story, but Glenn argued that it's a two-story, and Rick Oliver said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is, you still need the variance because,
On the side. I
Yeah,
get it.
from the
I just, it showed it as a single and the application says two, and I just didn't
yeah.
make the connection there.
I guess because of that.
I have nothing else.
I guess he's saying if this was this.
But even that, you can't live in there,
That's the height.
right?
No, I mean,
Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, it's not gonna be, it's, the tippy top of the pointed roof is not going to be as high as the house, so there's no way that that could be a second story, if a floor were put in or a ceiling were put in. So it's, I think it's kind of,
Octagon-shaped roof?
yes.
It does show, you know what, yeah, but it's a basement, it wouldn't matter.
It's just crawl space.
It wouldn't matter anyway. Okay, anyway. Well, but the application is for a single family, right? A single, it doesn't say.
One story?
Doesn't say one story. I don't want anybody to say anything. Right, so, how do we cover that? I mean, it says it on the, I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Vaulted octagon.
Well, I'm saying, it says, the application says two-story, we believe it's to be a single story, and we cover them both? I mean, I don't know.
One-story addition
All right.
with a vaulted
Vaulted
octagon
ceiling.
roof line.
You got it, Tom?
That's it.
All right.
It's,
No
yeah.
second-story living space.
Anybody have any, anyone? You guys? You good? Anything? Tom, you good?
Yep.
I'm good.
Anyone in the audience wish to be heard on this? Okay.
My neighbor came.
This was a continuation. Why did we,
Oh, it was a continuation.
why did we
right?
continue this?
Garage.
Do you remember why?
Because, I asked Rick that, because I didn't understand why I had to refile, but evidently the law is that if we didn't start building, which we didn't, that I had to refile
So
again.
this was previously approved.
Yes,
I don't remember this one. This was surprising to
2
me.
years
It said
ago.
continuous, and I mustn't have been
I
here.
just remember the man from the rear on Mountain View was complaining about your garage. 'Cause it was
And I
on the
fixed
line.
that.
You were gonna fix the bump out of
and
the
I
garage.
agreed
Remember
with
that
him.
now.
I agreed with him 100%,
Yeah,
Okay.
and I
but you
fixed
still
it.
need to do it, right?
Yeah,
I remember
I
that.
fixed that, yeah.
Fixed it.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
I fixed
okay,
it right.
It's still showing on the drawing.
It does?
Yeah.
Oh, those were the drawings from the first original application. Yeah, because that's,
Yeah, no,
no, that bump is gone. I actually even submitted pictures of it.
but they must have went back out, so it hasn't been changed because it's not on here. Well,
Okay.
all right, but we're not gonna call that out right now. You submitted pictures with the last,
With this application.
with this application, you submitted pictures of the garage?
Of the garage, yeah, that it was removed.
All right. Make a motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, that was easy. Thanks.
You can stick around, oh, yeah, anyway, we're gonna make a decision now. It's good. Okay.
All right, are you ready for C?
wait to hear the decision.
Applicant Scatalow. Based on the testimony heard by this board and the facts as presented in the application, submission and in the record since these applications seek to construct, expand a single, two, or three-family house, residence on an approved lot. Seeks to construct, expand, or place a minor accessory or apartment residential structure. Seeks area variances for construction or expansion of or relating to a single, two, or three-family residence, and/or seeks only setback or lot line variances. The oh wait, no, that's only, this one's only on ZBA 25-46, Scatalow, which I'm butchering her name, I'm sorry. The application's exempt from environmental review under the State Environmental Quality Review Act pursuant to secret regulation 617.5C1, 2, 11, 12, 16, and/or 17. If you have no questions or comments, a board member may adopt my legal opinion as a motion.
I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, ZBA 25-45 applicant Donnelly subdivision, since the planning board noticed its intent to declare itself lead agency and distributed that notice of intention to all involved agencies, including the ZBA, who consented or did not object to the planning board acting as lead agency for this application pursuant to coordinated review under the State Environmental Quality Review Act Regulation 617.6. And since the planning board conducted secret review and on July 23rd, 2025, as set forth in PB number 25-42, preliminary subdivision approval subject to conditions, rendered an environmental determination that no significant adverse environmental impact would result from the proposed land use action, i.e. negative declaration, the ZBA is bound by the planning board's neg deck and cannot require further secret review. If you have no questions or comments, a board member may adopt my legal opinion as a motion.
I so move. All in favor?
Aye.
ZBA 25-44, applicant 552 North Middletown Road LLC. Since the planning board noticed its intent to declare itself lead agency and distributed that notice of intention to all involved agencies, including the ZBA, who consented or did not object to the planning board acting as lead agency in this application pursuant to coordinated review under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, Regulations, Section 617.6B3, and since the planning board conducted secret review and on January 13, 2021, as set forth in PB 21-03, Rockland Car Care Site Plan, final site plan approval subject to conditions, rendered an environmental determination that no significant adverse environmental impact would result from the proposed land use action, i.e. negative declaration. The ZBA is bound by the planning board's neg deck and cannot require further secret review. If you have no questions or comments, a board member may adopt my legal opinion as a motion.
I so move. All in favor?
Aye.
Ay, ay, ay.
Good.
Woo!
Oh, 50,
That's a lot.
On Middletown Road?
Oh, Middletown, sorry.
When's the deal?
I'll be okay. You'll be all right.
Yeah, it must be a full
I
moon.
make a motion that we approve the variances requested by, in app 544, 552 North Middletown Road, LLC. Actually, this was previously approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Sure, go with it. All right,
All right,
Billy?
ZBA 2545, I'm gonna make a motion to approve that as well. Planning board found no traffic issues, in their decision, and I agree with it. Applicant agreed to increase the street frontage to 60 feet, which we would like to make as a condition of approval. It's a unique lot, it's a very long lot, and the area of both the proposed lot and the existing lot are going to be, within.
Ask you to say which.
Which lot?
The lot two, the lot in the back.
Flat lot.
Yeah, both lots will have the sufficient area. So, like I said, I think it's a unique lot. It won't set a precedent in that area. Doesn't change the character of the neighborhood. There's a flag lot right in the immediate vicinity, and there's been no environmental issues identified. So for those reasons, I make a motion to approve.
So you're overriding number one of the county letter?
Which
Are
was,
we doing that?
I thought that was a suggested modification.
I always thought so too now, but their recommendations are actually now what they really want, right? We're going, their recommendation
nothing there they demand.
We recommend
You
following.
covered everything.
Yeah, I think you did, but, well, they changed.
I mean, if it
We
needs,
increased the street frontage, that was the biggest thing.
yeah, and if it needs an override, then yes. Make a motion to override.
Second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Billy made one? You got that, okay, I'm sorry. Tom?
I make a motion that we approve the application 25-46 for Helen's Trail Chatula. It's a very minor side yard variance. It's less than the current side yard variance they have. It's for a one-story addition with 12-foot ceilings. And there's no adverse effects to the community. It fits in well with that area. So I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.